Superior or superb?
No, we're gonna be something funny.
What do you
Doesn't need
even
to be an S. Technically, we never really use. We never.
Yeah,
really,
where'd you get those letters from anyway?
This is what it always is on a tier list. It's S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier. It's a gaming thing, Jake. You won't understand.
Podcast about bourbon and the ones who drink it. This is Bourbon Matters. Welcome to Bourbon Matters. I'm Jake.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Gold Eagle Jake.
And tonight we are building our NDP tier list. We've got, what is it now? 17?
I think 17 was, we got to the last second edition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17.
17 different NDPs. We are obviously missing a lot, but we don't want to rate 100 different NDPs. So we're sticking with the ones we've got.
Sticking with the ones we know a little bit more, talk about a little bit more, and of course, most of these are available at Gold Eagle.
Yeah.
Not all, but most.
Not all, but most.
Yeah. Plus, the majority of these are national distributed as well, too. I mean, there's a couple that aren't, but most of them you can get nationwide.
Yeah, pretty much.
And also, some of these could be debated just to clear things up, whether it's truly an NDP, because a couple of these guys are distilling. But for the majority, these are non-distilling producers, and these brands were built on non-distilling liquid.
The majority of the whiskey you've had out of these and drank has not been from their own distillery.
So just to clear that up before we get some, Michter's is distilling, but most of their stuff is
we know
not.
Those people love their comments.
Yeah, so real quick, NDPs are what? Just in case anybody doesn't know. Stands for non-distilling producers.
Hacks.
What?
No, hacks.
Hacks. Yeah.
Also, I think it's worth mentioning it's a really, really interesting time for NDPs, and we've kind of talked about it recently on the podcast, how the prices of barrels has dropped significantly. So if you got into the bourbon world as an NDP 5+ years ago, you might be sitting on more expensive inventory than if you just got in recently, or if you have a lot of free cash to take advantage of these barrel prices that have dropped. If you're sitting on a ton of inventory from 5+ years ago, you're probably not in the best shape. But if you're a quick in and out NDP, like Rare Character and Smoke Wagon, you might be looking pretty good right now and have access to a lot more barrels and a little more wiggle room to play around with pricing.
Also, if you're sitting down and watching this on YouTube, if you haven't noticed, Gold Eagle Jake's in a new location in his new house. Still probably getting stuff moved in. Eventually, I'm sure he'll have some furniture in that room that takes away some of that echo.
Ooh, do I need to open this door? Is there an echo here?
You're good. Sure? Let's give me crap. Yeah.
All right. I can open
slight.
this door.
No, you're good. Let's go with it. I like it. It's not a bad echo. It just sounds a little different. You're good.
Crack the door.
Yeah. So, you want to just get into it?
I guess we can. So, I mean, what we're basically ranking these on is first and foremost is going to be how good the whiskey is. Secondly, we're also going to consider price and value and everything about the whiskey as well. Uniqueness of it, things like that. That all goes into our rankings. We have our 5 tier lists. The middle tier is what we've kind of been going with as balance as everything should be. The highest tier level we have is better than most distilleries. Then we have pretty good. Then the balance level, leave it on the shelf, and then the final D tier is going to be just straight dog shit. So we will go through these. We put this list together about half hour ago. We started working on the list and came up with these. So we'll see if they end up creating a nice little bell curve, or if we're completely wrong and everything's better than most distilleries. We can start with the first one.
Yeah, let's go in.
These are in alphabetical order. I figured that was the fairest way to put these on here. Our first one on here is 2XO, Dixon Deadman's brand of whiskey. Doing his barrel blending like he always does. Who wants to go with 2XO?
Jake, you can go first.
I'll start. All right.
So you're the closest. You're close with Dixon. You guys are homeboys, right?
I wouldn't say homeboys, but Dixon did teach me the way of leading a blind tasting, and if it wasn't for Dixon, we wouldn't probably be doing blind tastings at Gold Eagle. So I have a lot to thank him, and I'm also going to be meeting with Dixon in about a month from now, going down to Kentucky to do a barrel pick at his office. Then he's going to do a little tasting for our group. So nice. I might be a little biased here, but I am going to put this at probably on the far right side of better than most distilleries.
Well, I can only put on the far left right now. But
well, yes, but I'm just saying we'll see where the other things fall. But everything I've tried from 2XO has been phenomenal. There's not a single product that Dixon has put out that I haven't enjoyed. My only complaint would probably be his blends are a little pricey at that $100 price range for something that's not age stated. But we always talk about how age doesn't matter and it's more about flavor. And he's not flooding the market also, which I really like. He's coming out with 2 different blends a year and 1 higher end single barrel expression per year. And then he has brands, or his base level products are right in that $30 to $40 range on the shelf all the time. I think for a double oaked bourbon, it doesn't get much better and consistent than this for an NDP.
So slightly biased.
Definitely slightly biased, but
okay.
I would like to hear you argue. I know you're probably going to say it's overpriced, but where
Jake,
do you fall?
I'm probably about the same. I would say it could also lead in pretty good. Just because I do think it is just a touch pricey. If he gave us transparency on what's going in there, which I don't doubt that it's like a really good product, but I would put it in better than most distilleries if we got full transparency the way that like Barrel does, to compare it to another blending house. Yeah, I could go either way.
All right. You know what? I agree. I think it's good. Angel's Envy is the next one on the list.
That's it?
Yeah, I agree. It's good.
Good?
Yep. I agree. It's good. What about Angel's Envy, Jake? Jake R.
Yeah, I'd say leave it on the shelf.
Ooh, starting low with Angel's Envy. I gotta look at the screen.
I mean, it's a good entry like whiskey, especially for finishes. Their rye is really good. Their normal bourbon is like fine. Single barrels are like pretty decent from them. But I do think it's pricey for what it is, especially their LEs are like way overpriced and not as good as like they used to be a few years ago. So yeah, I'd say like if you're beyond a startup, bourbon collector, I'd say leave it alone.
Jake, your thoughts?
I would also say leave it on the shelf. I totally agree. I think it is a great beginner bourbon. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not dog shit, but I won't be reaching for a bottle of Angel's Envy unless it is a single barrel pick that I've
As
heard
I say, I know you like their single
good
barrels.
things. Single barrels are good. They're a great value. I think they're a way better value than the cash strength releases because they're about a third of the price and they're almost cash strength. We have about 30 bottles left of a very good single barrel of Angel's Envy. But talking about their standard stuff and most of their releases, I think it's fine for what it is. I wouldn't be reaching for a bottle.
Yeah.
Plus, you get the little gold wings on the barrel picks.
Not anymore. Just like they took away the wood boxes on the cash strength.
All the cool stuff about Angel's Envy has like been totally removed.
It's amazing how people don't want those limited releases anymore, and that it don't come with the wood box.
Well, I mean, you're paying $300
Right.
for a bottle plus a wood box, or $300 for just a bottle. Like it's dumb. Like I don't know how they're justifying that price.
Well, and plus the bottle shape doesn't condone itself to be fit into a tube like some other really good bourbons.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I agree. I'm going to say leave it on the shelf. Barrel craft.
For barrel, since they have so many SKUs, we're just kind of doing an average.
Yeah. I mean, just
Overall,
overall and
kind of-
everything. Yeah, just generalization of barrel craft.
I'd say high end of balanced. They do have really, really good, like their standard like blend, or their batch. Blend is usually really, really good, consistently. They're like specialty SKUs like Seagrass and Dovetail are also really good. I do think they're a bit overpriced, though they have come down, right, Jake, a little bit.
They came out with the Foundation series, which is a $50 bottle, but it's not cash
Not
strength.
cash strength, yeah.
But
Which
yeah,
I know you
they're-
hate because it goes completely against everything that they're for.
Right, but they did actually lower their prices a little bit on their specialty releases and their single barrels. We just haven't seen any come into the market yet, but they will be slightly cheaper. We got I think it was a 9-year for a client did a pick of a 9-year, and it was like $80 retail or 70 to $80 retail, where those used to be 100 or 110. So they have come down in price a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, the value proposition is there. I think they're just like slightly skewed towards the high end of the price point.
I agree.
But
That's where it should go.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't fight either of you if you bumped it up to pretty good. But
All right, so you ready for it? I think they're better than most distilleries. But I'll be happy with leaving it at pretty good. Okay, what more do you want from an NDP? I mean, they have some like awesome core releases, Seagrass, Dovetail. Those are like consistent, very good whiskeys, and they're as transparent as they could possibly be, putting the percentages, the mash bills from every single state that they source from. If they could give out distillery names, they probably would. And I think some are better. Some things they put out are better than others, but there's not really a product that they've put out that I thought, oh, this is bad, I can't drink this. I think they've got cool marketing. I don't know. I think from an NDP standpoint, they are like, when you think of NDP, you think of barrel craft. They kind of paved the way for all of these NDPs, most of these NDPs on this list.
so the transparency is a point that I forgot, even though I just made it like 5 minutes ago. That is a good point. So I do think pretty good is a good spot for it.
All right, I agree.
All right.
Next, we have the Beautiful and the Damned. A local Illinois one, so if you're outside of Illinois, you might not see it nearly as much. Good news is Gold Eagle ships.
Why don't you
Well,
go
Dan,
for this
you
one,
haven't gone
Dan?
first yet.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you guys on this.
Well, we can't just go off of our barrel pick only.
Yeah, that's true. All right,
I mean,
here's my actual thoughts.
okay.
Angel's Envy, I would have it low end and leave it on the shelf. I'm not a fan of port finish. I think if you're, I know a lot of people use it as a beginner whiskey. I think as more people get into whiskey, I think less and less people like port finish, which is why you don't see a ton of it out there. I think my base on 2XO is based off of the fact that I've never really had their higher end ones. I've only had their $40 bottle ones, and I think it's really damn good at $40. Like I would, that at $40 is better than most $40 whiskeys. They're $40, $50 whiskeys. I think that's really good. I would have no problem there. Barrel craft, I would probably be on the lower end of pretty good. Both of you guys had made excellent points. I'm actually going to give them more points for the fact that they've been reducing prices, especially on their older stuff, and coming back down into market, not being so asinine with prices. I will say I've had some really good batch blends from them before. I will say I've had some batch blends from them that were just kind of meh. And I know we got to average it out. So if I average it out, I'm thinking it's probably closer to balance as everything should be than it is at pretty good. But
Another point. Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I got
no,
another
go
point.
ahead.
Another
I
point
agree.
on their blends is they also up the age statement and are doing less blends. They're only putting out 1, maybe 2 a year now, and they're reducing the quantity of the bottles that they're putting out. So they're trying to get back to this more competitive, more exclusive. You can't just walk in and find it everywhere type of brand. So I think getting more price competitive, up in the age statements, because for a while we were seeing 5-year as the age statement on their blends, and now they're getting back up to 7 or 8 year on their minimum.
Well, and I think they've learned too is like the worst thing, and maybe it's good for on your side, Jake. Maybe it's not. But like when I walk into Gold Eagle and I see 17 different batch numbers of barrel proof on the shelf, like how long am I going to sit there and debate which one of the 17 numbers I should grab, or should I just grab something else? So the fact that they are limiting some of those, I know there's some people that are probably going to get their New Year's bottle every year for tradition, same way people get the midwinter dram for tradition's sake. But I just don't think people get, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't think there's a ton of people out there that get super excited about Barrel's New Year's bottle.
No, there's a couple people that get excited over it.
That are really into it.
But I would say not as much as when a new batch comes out. When a new batch comes out, there's definitely a handful of people that grab a bottle, ask us to put it at the bar. I think especially because they've toned it back a little bit, they still have a pretty good following on their batches. And if you walk into Gold Eagle, you're going to see a lot of different barrel craft. You're not going to see a lot of different batches. The distributor for Illinois does a lot of really kind of small batch picks with barrel craft. And brings in unique things, and we do a lot of shipping with barrel craft, so we try to keep our shelves and inventory stocked with these different unique releases that you can't find in other parts of the country.
All right. Beautiful and the Damned. This one's going to be hard to not hold a bias against because I can still taste those empanadas and that shrimp that Kevin's wife made for us that night. And I still, those super dark cigars. Jake, did you get some of those, by the way? I know you were asking him about them. Like, I can still have that super dark chocolate mocha cigar flavor on my lip from that night.
I think
The second one we had?
Yeah.
No, I haven't gotten them, but yeah, those were so good.
So I'll
probably
try
the
not
best
to
cigar I've ever had.
Yeah.
I think both of those cigars we had were like the top
definitely the most expensive. Definitely the most expensive cigars I've ever had.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously I love our barrel pick because we like that so much. We weren't planning on going there. There was no plan on. There was no sales pitch. He wasn't trying to sell anything to us. We liked it a lot. Um, some of the blends we had that night I thought were okay. I mean, even just the standard Old Orleans was I thought was phenomenal too. And then we had the standard. We had it at barrel proof, and then we had that single barrel. Um, I think this, with where they are currently at, is the dead center of balance as everything should be at this point. Um, I don't want that to be a knock against them, and I don't want that to be that I'm trying to build them up either. I think they're going to continue coming along. I think Kevin has a phenomenal palate and a great passion for blending and can put really good stuff together. I just want to keep seeing the brand evolve. Um, but I think right now the Beautiful and the Damned is dead center for me as a whole.
Yeah, I'd maybe bump it up one spot. Into
I would
pretty
too.
pretty good. I mean the cast strength releases are just like super good. Not to say that the the lower proof offerings aren't as well, but yeah, I don't know. I was like really impressed with all of the different labels that we tried that night.
Yeah, so I was too. I would, I love the versatility that Barrelcraft has with using different distilleries in different states, and just bringing kind of more into one. I think the Beautiful and the Damned would be a little bit higher for me if they had a little bit wider range of products, but they're also just starting out, and you definitely don't want to flood the market when you're starting out. You want to put out a couple small batch stuff that's really good, that gets some good reviews and gets people looking at your brand. So I think Kevin's doing everything absolutely right. And he kind of came into it at timing wasn't the best for starting his NDP when he did. 3-4 years ago, barrel prices were at their peak. Now we know he's not sitting on a ton of inventory. And he was talking about how barrel prices have started to come down big time, and he's very smart with buying barrels. So I have a very good feeling and a lot of hope that this brand is going to jump into that better than most distilleries category in the near future. But I think where it is right now is in that pretty good category.
Yeah, if you want a bunch of that like inside baseball stuff, go listen to that episode. Two episodes that we did with Kevin from
awesome episodes.
And we were definitely sober at the end of the second episode.
Yeah.
And you can't buy the barrel pick that we're talking about in that episode, so don't get too excited. It's already sold out.
I got 6 bottles. I'll sell it to them. I'll sell. Someone wants them 10 times label price. Got you. I got 6 unopened bottles on the bar right now. I finished 2. I have 6 left. Start the bidding. Next one.
Can we just put it? Do we even have to discuss?
If you're watching on YouTube, you probably see the logo already. If you're listening, it is Blue Run Spirits. Who wants to go first on Blue Run?
So
I think we all know where we all stand, but yeah, go ahead.
But remember,
Jake.
there's a really pretty butterfly, and they're all different butterflies in the bottle.
So the only thing I'll say about Blue Run is that I think they started off somewhat promising and like really.
That's because they wrote you a thank you letter for buying bottles online.
No, like I mean, I did like the I think it was the Golden Rye a lot, and the one bourbon was
so good. You remembered it so well. This
Well,
is a ringing
no,
endorsement for Blue Run.
I'm not saying it was amazing. Like there was like a decent like bourbon early release. But yeah, I think they fell into the trap. I think that Jake was just describing of flooding the market with mediocre product, and yeah, I don't think anybody really cares anymore.
Jake, yeah. I'm guessing you're putting in a dog shit. I put it there for you, in case you didn't.
Yes, that was
okay.
the place I was going to let it settle.
Jake, do they still have like the $30 rebate attached to the bottles?
I couldn't really tell you because we don't really bring much in from them. We brought in the Chicago Bears bottles, and those sold pretty good. But
Shocker,
yeah.
dumbass Bears fans. Ooh, the bottle's black and orange.
It was blue and orange, and
whatever.
it was a tribute to the '85 Bears. It had the 1985 Bears emblem on it, and the butterfly was blue and orange.
Okay, all right.
It just came out for the 40th anniversary, so it was pretty cool. As a Bears fan, you got to get excited over that.
You would have gotten one with a golden
Packers
green on it.
Yeah.
There's been I've seen Packer whiskey bottles out there. The last time I bought something that was logoed for Packers, I think, was a can of Coca-Cola with Brett Favre on it back in '95, and I think it might be sitting behind. No. The Coca-Cola can just had the Super Bowl logo, the 31 Super Bowl logo on it. The Mountain Dew can used to have Brett Favre on it, but that Mountain Dew ate through the can after about 10 years, so that can got thrown away. Mountain Dew, great. If you're listening, Mountain Dew, great product. Give us a sponsorship. Yeah, I if you've listened a lot, I'm not a big Blue Run fan. We've talked a lot about it. The only thing I thought that was really cool, besides the butterfly, because they made for nice candle bottles when I made candles, was I thought the distillery that they're going to build looks pretty cool, and now they don't have any money, so they're not building that crazy distillery. And I think it's probably because most people realize that their stuff is dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, Jake, you hit the nail on the head. I think when they first came out, they released some like one-off 12-year, 14-year single barrels at Barrel Proof at $100, $120, and they had a ton of hype going for them, and then they just completely fell off the face of the earth, releasing 4-year $100 bottles that were proof down and just really very mediocre whiskey, like should be $30-$40 bottles.
And it's like back in, this would have been late 2010s, early 2020s. Like the two like biggest hyped products out there that you heard a ton from any type of influence account with whiskey. One was an NDP, which is Blue Run. The other was a distillery called Castle and Key.
Yeah.
And both of them came out with really mediocre whiskey. Now, the thing with Castle and Key is they're a distillery. Like, they don't have much to choose from. Blue Run could have mixed anything or kept building the batches up a little bit bigger to put different flavors in to get a flavor that came out better, and they didn't. And that was kind of just like a slap in the face of, hey, here's $90 mediocre whiskey that's barely aged. We could have done better, but we didn't.
Well,
so here you go.
I
think that killed it. Like, at least Castle and Key can redeem themselves with distilling. Because I know you like the rye right off the bat, Jake R. Gold Eagle Jake. I know you were.
I like the rye.
You were like trying to push them too, but
it's the bourbon.
The first two batches have not been good, and they've been fighting that battle since then.
Yeah, it's getting better, but it's definitely not where it needs to be or should be with how cool this distillery is and the story behind the distillery. But they do have the best vodka and gin, though. If you like gin, Castle and Key gins are absolutely incredible. But yeah, one of the coolest distilleries to go visit. But yeah, I think their whiskey's getting better. I got hope for them too.
But like that, I mean, we've talked a lot about NDPs in the past. We've made a lot of points, but it's like the one episode we talked about if you're doing an NDP, like the biggest thing is don't flood the market with meh whiskey. Because that's just going to ruin your name, and you're going to be fighting a losing battle in a crowded space anyways. It's only getting cheaper by the day.
Yeah, and you have no story.
Don't do what like what they kind of did was like release these like bomb ass like single barrels, and then come in with blends that are like super bland.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, you don't really have room for error as an NDP because
Yeah.
there's no story for people to buy into. They're just straight up buying into the whiskey, and if the whiskey's not good, they don't care. That you quit your tech job and started a NDP
especially
brand.
if it's $100 plus bottle. Like nobody wants to get burned on $100 or $120 bottle.
Yeah. All right, enough talk about that one. We spent way too much time on a dog shit whiskey. Next one, I'm torn on this one. Calumet Farms. Calumet again. Most of their stuff, I don't think they sell anything less than 8 year, do they?
Do they have a 6?
I thought maybe they had a 6.
But I mean, when they came to market, they were basically on the shelf with 10 and older. And it was a
But
little
yeah.
bit, I think, until the 8 came out.
And you mostly see from them their 14, 15, and 16 is kind of what they're known for.
They came out, I think, a little bit later after that with the 8 year that was a little bit lower on a price point.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, their aged ones aren't crazy expensive either, though. Because they're pretty darn close to that $10 a year that we normally talk about.
Yeah,
which
for
is
the
kind of
age statement, they're pretty
And
well priced.
They also came into the market at a time where nobody could find 14, 15, 16 year whiskey. That was really the only option if you wanted something 14 years plus that was on the shelf. There was nothing else really above 10, except for maybe some of the big 6 distilleries, and even those guys at the time were struggling to keep 10-year whiskey on the shelf, removing age statements from Knob Creek and other big brands like that.
Jake, didn't we do a Calumet 16 at your bachelor party? I thought we had. I think we had a Kentucky Owl and a Calumet that was older too.
It might. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, I've liked all of the 10. There's a 12, 14, 15, 16, right?
Yeah, and then they this
liked
past
all
year
of them.
came out with an 18 and a 17, but those are insanely expensive. The 18 was like 400 or 450. The 17 was like 350. They came out with this really, really cool like horse farm decanter that was super cool, but I'm sure the whiskey wasn't that great. It was $300. So I think they're doing cool things, and they're to me they're balanced as everything should be. There's certain things that have me intrigued from them, and maybe I would try or buy. I wouldn't just leave it on the shelf, but I don't think they're pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say they're like the leader of balanced as everything should be. Because even they're like the I don't know what they call them, but like they're like half and half blends where it's like 10 year and 5 year, or like whatever it is. Those are actually pretty good too.
I haven't had much of their younger stuff. I've only really had the older stuff.
Yeah, I think, I mean, now it's easier to find older stuff on the shelves. If you think that age statement is everything and you don't have Calumet Farms, then you're basically being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Because I think the value is pretty darn decent. I've never had anything bad from Calumet. It sucks that they sold the Kentucky Derby winner a couple years ago for $35,000. It sucks for them. But I think their whiskey's good, and if you're an age snob and you don't have it, the question is why. So
yeah,
that's my thoughts on it. We had a second addition to the list. We have Circle City Whiskey Company. Jake, Gold Eagle Jake's definitely not biased, considering he's the one that recommended it, and he's wearing a Circle City hat right now.
Well, we couldn't do an NDP episode without them if I'm wearing their hat.
So you're obviously putting them
better
in front of
than
2XO.
every distillery. Make a new tier up there.
Better than every. Okay. How much money are you getting paid right now for this? I think technically you have to say if it's a paid endorsement nowadays on the socials.
All right, so I'll start.
And hey, why did you get paid and we didn't out of this?
Yeah.
I mean, under the table, of course. I would have to split it with you guys if we all, and then it would be obvious that we're getting paid.
I didn't split my $5 that Kyle gave me for better internet. That's still in our PayPal account.
Well, but you needed better internet, so.
Circle City, Drew, great dude. We got to get you on the podcast. We've been talking about it. We got to make it happen.
Has Circle City Drew met Gold Eagle Drew?
Yes, they have met.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure. Are they related?
They are not related. No.
Okay, all right.
So if you don't know, this brand's from Indianapolis, Circle City. Drew, the guy who started it, was running a major bourbon club, doing a ton of barrel picks, and by doing so, just kind of realized, we're doing tons and tons of barrel picks. Why don't we just start our own NDP and put it in our own bottle? And that's how Circle City came to be. I haven't tried a ton from them, but another brand where everything I have tried has been really good. I would say he's excelling right now in the barrels he's able to source, and his single barrels have wowed me. Whereas his blends, I think, they're good. They're pretty good. Overall, I would probably put him in the pretty good category. Probably right behind Beautiful and the Damned, and maybe that's because I haven't had enough from them yet. But that's my thoughts on Circle City.
Yeah, I'm.
Where you put him? Sorry, I tuned out.
Pretty
Probably,
good.
Yeah, pretty good. Probably right behind, like
Barrel?
equal with Beautiful and the Damned. Behind only because we had that fantastic cigar and dinner at Kevin's house.
Hey, we said everything was on the table for our rankings, so.
Yeah, for Circle City, I'm kind of in a similar boat. Like I only think I've had the one or two picks that you did with them.
Yeah, we did the 8-year Double Oak Heaven Hill, 8-year toasted Double Oak Heaven Hill, which was barrel proof, $100 on the shelf. I think that's pretty fair for pricing. You don't see a lot of sourced Heaven Hill, and he's actually allowed to say that he gets it from Heaven Hill.
Yeah, and you had a rye from them too, right?
Oh yeah, so their rye was named. We posted it, but I forgot the awards that it was in. But it was like a major competition. It was named the top 3 American rye whiskeys over, I think, 10 or 12 years old, and it was Redemption 18, Sazerac 18, and the Circle City 12-year rye. Mm-hmm. So that rye that he put out, batch 1, was phenomenal.
Yeah, so I mean that's about the extent of my experience with them. I think by nature they're not like super obtainable. So yeah, I just haven't gotten to really try them that much. So I don't really have much else to add there.
Me neither. I have never tried a Circle City product, and I can guarantee you that they're not in Utah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Glad we added this one, Jake. Glad you got your payment for this, though. That's nice. I like it. Good job for you. All right. One we've talked a lot about on the show, Dark Arts Whiskey House.
Phenomenal.
That we don't have a tier called Phenomenal.
No, but put them right behind. I might even put them above 2XO.
Damn.
Ooh, Jake's starting high.
I really, really like what Macaulay's doing with the like different finishes and stuff, and then just really like inventive stuff too. I mean, it's kind of just like his own little like experimental laboratory, like what he's doing. So it's pretty cool. and everything I've had from them has been spectacular. So nothing bad to say.
All right. So this is coming from a guy that has opinions on finishes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very picky on finishes. It's not that I only like certain types of finishes, because I've had ports that I have liked, but not as many of. The problem that comes to me with finishing is sometimes I'd rather just have it. Like most times, again, I'm an old curmudgeon. I'm a crotchety old man. I prefer a lot of times a non-finished bourbon. I need to be in a mood for a finished bourbon. That being said, the majority of stuff I've had from them is good. You can tell that the whiskey in there is actually really good whiskey. It's just been some of the finishes have been a little off-putting for me. So because of that, I would probably put them behind Barrel Craft.
Well, you're a purist too
I'm a very big purist, yes.
when it comes to whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is a tough one for me.
You're also getting paid for this one?
No, I would
Okay.
also agree that I would prefer it here than up at the top. And you guys know I'm a big Dark Arts fan. Macaulay is an awesome dude. I love what they're doing with all the different finishes. They're sourcing some very premium barrels to finish in. They are innovating very well with the blunt blend, with the maple and amberana cask finish that he does. He's got some really, really interesting, tasty stuff that nobody else is doing. The problem is the price point for me. I think he came into the market at, not the best time. Pricing for barrels were probably at their peak. And he started, he didn't have a ton of age statements, and even his age statements, like his 10-year stuff, retails for about $200 a bottle. And that's his finished stuff. So these finishing barrels that he's sourcing are premium, but I think that is a little high on the price point. The bottle, super cool. The story, super cool. His new spot in Lexington is super cool. He's doing some really, really good things. The only thing that's hurting for me on this one is the price point.
Do you
So for
know?
me,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I would put it here based on just flavor, but I would almost bump it for me below Circle City just because of the price point compared to these other NDPs.
All right. So on average, we're going to put it just below Beautiful and the Damned in the pretty good tier.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. The price point's a good conversation.
The question I have, though, with the finishing, and Jake, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Do you know if all the finishing barrels are first fill finishing barrels?
Most of them are.
Okay.
Most of them are.
So for those of you who don't know, like, just because it's finished in something, in a certain type of barrel, it might have been the fourth time that barrel's been used to finish a whiskey in. These barrels continue to get passed around. So when we talk about first fill finishing barrels, that means that whiskey was the first to fill that barrel after whatever was originally in it was taken out. The reason that's important is because, again, when you're doing finishing barrels, you're trying to pull some of that flavor out of the barrel, and you're putting a little bit of your whiskey into it. So the more times that gets used, by the time you get to your sloppy seconds, thirds, fourths, your Bonnie Blue stage, it's going to be pretty well used, and you're not going to get a ton of flavor out of it.
Yeah, and I'm sure he is second using some of them, because it would be, just insanely expensive to just use them once and get rid of them. But last time I was there was, as he was kind of getting started and just opened his new spot. So I'm sure at that point most everything was first fill. One thing that I gotta also applaud him on is the balance of the whiskey. Of all his finished stuff is always incredibly balanced. You can taste the whiskey, you can taste the finishing cask, but the cask never overpowers the whiskey. They complement each other very well. So again,
Always
the only
perfect.
reason why this one is where it is for me is because the price point is a little bit too high compared to these other NDPs, and pretty good.
All right. The next I'll start with, because it's my darling child on here.
Go ahead.
Found North. Unfortunately, this is one that you're not able to get at Gold Eagle. These are some guys up in the 51st state, just across the border, that do some phenomenal blends and do a little bit of finishing as well. They are very close and have a really good relationship with the team at Whiskey Acres. So I've been lucky enough to taste a lot of their batches. To this day, I can't remember. I think it might have been batch 6 or 8 that I still have, and I don't want to finish that bottle, which is
It's
an 8.
7, isn't it?
7. I thought it was an even number. I could be wrong.
It's this one. It's 7.
7. Okay. Batch 7 finished 18 year in Hungarian oak finish. Phenomenal. Price point on them is, I think that was like a $160, $180 bottle. And again, it was an 18-year whiskey. I love Found North. I love what they're doing. The guys up there are super awesome. I don't know how much experience you guys have had with them, so if you're relying on me for this, I'm going to use my bias, and I'm going to say I'm going to put them above Barrelcraft. But and they just had another batch come out that I tried when I was back at home that they had at Whiskey Acres that was phenomenal as well, and that was, I think they did another Hungarian oak finish because the first one went over so well. I love them. Unfortunately, they have a bad distributor, and you can't get it at Gold Eagle.
Rumors
see it out.
Rumors have been that it's coming.
Good.
But those
I
have
hope
been-
so. I hope so, because they make really, really good product. And I wish, that, especially to all the people we know, we got a lot of Gold Eagle loyalists in here. I'm not telling you to go to another store to get it, so hopefully it comes. But if you see one, it's their stuff has been phenomenal. They spend a lot of time, put a lot of work into their
It's like
to their
that
blends.
particular batch is like in your like top 3 of all time, right?
Probably top 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kicked some good ones down the list, but
Yeah, I mean, it
It's-
is a really,
it's-
really good bottle.
I don't sit on a lot of bottles. Like, I'm one that when I start drinking a bottle, I'll try and get through it within the next 3 or 4 months. That's one that I don't touch a ton of, just because I'm going to be sad when it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've tried maybe 2 or 3 besides the batch 7 from them, and yeah, everything's been very, very good. I think that's probably a good spot for it. I'd maybe bump it below barrel just because it's a little, I mean, not that the value isn't there for some of the age statements they're putting out, but it's just like,
Yeah,
you're getting into like ultra premium, kind of territory.
yeah, that's fair.
I'm
Jake,
good.
have you had it, or have you not gone to the other store to get
I've
it?
only had, because people have brought me samples of it. So I've only had 2, maybe 3 different bottles. Everything I've tried has been really, really good. I'm going to just go with what you guys think. I'm happy with where it is right there. I would have probably said right below Barrelcraft.
All right.
Based on my little
Hopefully
knowledge.
they get distribution changed a little bit so they can be a little bit more widely available, because this is one I think if you haven't tried, you'd be pleasantly surprised with. I can't tell you about every single batch because I haven't had every batch, but batch has been really good, and they've made one of my top 5 favorite whiskeys of all time. So, all right, Nancy Freely's Joseph Magnus. Fraley.
I'd
So Joseph Magnus will also include Cigar Blend and what's the other one?
Murray Hill Club.
Murray Hill
Hill
Club.
Club.
Not Oak and Eden, but these
is there a really
Fox and
cheap?
Odin.
Fox and Odin. That's right.
There's Fox and Odin. Is there a really cheap Magnus too?
No, the cheapest
Is Joseph Magnus is like $90 or $99?
yeah, like 90
And then
to
Murray
100
Hill's
bucks.
$150 and Cigars $250 or something.
No,
ish.
cigar actually came down a little bit.
Did it?
We have it right now on the shelf for 200.
Okay.
I think it's between being after Calumet or in front of Angel's Envy. I think it's a little too expensive. It's good, especially Murray Hill Club. But yeah, the price points on it are like not super great. Let's say after Calumet, in balance as everything should be.
Jake, your thoughts?
I'm good with it there, or I probably originally would have said above Calumet. But this is also a brand that I think fluctuates a lot. I think when they first came out, that it was what everything wanted, and Cigar Batch was impossible to find. I will say we've done many blinds with cigar batches, and Magnus always comes out on top. It is usually the most expensive bottle, but it consistently comes out on top for cigar blends. And I think they kind of faded away for a little bit mostly because their stuff was just impossible to find for a year or two. And they stopped doing barrel picks, but now they're starting up again. So this would be a really interesting one to come back to in a year from now, because I think they're going to start ramping things up a little bit here. Now that they're offering barrel picks, they should have a bit more stuff available.
Yeah, that'll be interesting at the barrel picks. 'Cause, I mean, their big thing is Nancy's blends, right?
Yeah, but they did used to do like single barrels,
Okay.
just straight single barrels, and they were really good. I've had a few that were really, really good.
And they're MGP, right?
Yeah, they're MGP, just straight bourbon, like
Yeah.
9 or 10 year single barrel picks for $100. That's what they were, at least. We'll see what they come out as now.
My experience with the brand, I think one of the first like $100 bottles I bought was a Joseph Magnus. I thought it was pretty good. I really like Murray Hill Club.
Same.
I think it's way too expensive. Like, I think, in all due honesty, if Magnus was around $75 and Murray Hill was around 100, I'd probably have it a little bit higher. I really like Murray Hill Club.
I agree.
I'm not a big cigar blend guy, but I do know that this was like the original cigar blend that everyone freaked out about.
Yeah, they trademarked cigar blend.
Yeah,
It really is probably in my top 3 like cigar whiskeys.
yeah,
But yeah, Murray Hill is just a better whiskey in my opinion.
yeah. I think it's too pricey. I would never say leave it on the shelf because I think it's really good whiskey.
Yeah.
The price point is, I'm probably going to have this just because of the price point down below, as low as I can on balance, as everything should be. Even though I really, really like Murray Hill Club.
Yeah, I think the price points that you threw out there, if those were real, I'd bump it up to pretty.
I probably put him ahead of Calumet Farms at that point. Yeah. All right, probably the biggest name on here, right? Yeah. Angel's Envy is probably the biggest name.
No, Michter's is close.
Well, that's the next one. Is what I was going to do is Michter's.
Yeah.
Way to bury the lead. I was going to say the biggest blend, or probably the most well known next is Michter's.
Yeah, that's. What I was saying, right?
So Michter's, obviously everyone knows Michter's for their 10-year bourbon that's almost impossible to find, their 10-year rye that's pretty hard to find, the 20-year bourbon, which is impossible to find. I've seen one bottle in my life.
You have to be in succession to drink, I think.
Yeah. They're known for those, but they are also known for having everyday stuff on the shelf in the $50 to $60 price range, $40 to $60 price range, right?
40 to 50.
40 to 50.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Michter's. Where are we thinking here, boys?
I'd bump them ahead of Calumet in balance as everything should be.
You're gonna say top of balance as everything should be.
They're like standard SKUs are all really good. Especially considering value. Their LEs are like consistently great. Like that includes the bomb burgers and shanks too. So yeah, I think they could be. Yeah, I think the biggest like knock I have against Michter's is that like it's just so hard to get
The
like,
10-year. You want
almost-
a 10-year really bad.
Well, even the like barrel proof, like the toasted finishes and like some of the other stuff like that should be a little bit more accessible or almost harder to get than like the 10-year rye and the 10-year bourbon sometimes. Like
I agree that would probably be my only knock, and I can only think and hope that that's going to get better. For me, I think they're better than most distilleries. I think they have a core lineup that's consistently available in the $40 to $50 price range. Yeah, it's not really geared towards people like us because it is in that 85-ish proof range, 85 to 90-ish proof range. But I do think every single one of their limited releases is phenomenal. The price point went up a lot on those this year, which is kind of holding me back a little bit. The 10 years are now at about $200. The barrel strengths and toasteds, when they do come out, which I think is like every other year, those are around 140. So
What was bomb burgers this year? Wasn't that 180? Bomb burgers?
140. We had
140, okay.
Or 150 for bomb burgers, 140 for shanks.
Yeah.
But those are, to me, those are phenomenal whiskeys. And it's not something I'm going to pour every day, but if I found one for 140 or 150, I would probably buy it.
Yeah, so I got a Shanks this year. That was when I went and did the wait in line for Utah thing.
Oh, nice.
I got a Shanks there out of bomb burgers by the time I got up, but I was able to get a Shanks on my second time through, and I think we did like fresh pops or something as an episode, and I wasn't overly pleased with it. I've gone back to it. That bottle's almost gone. That'll be gone in another week or so. I've been happy with it. No one has ever given me a pour of any of their main SKUs that I have not liked and not been like, nah, I don't want that. Michter's is kind of the one if I go to a bar and they just have a lot of basic stuff, and then like Michter's is kind of their more special besides like the bullets and knobs. I'll usually go with Michter's. I definitely wanted above Barrel Craft because they're $40, $50 bourbons you can't go wrong with. The 10-year bourbon.
That position. The
10-year bourbon is on my list of things that I want on my bar that I don't have. That's kind of like the one of the few ones out there that I haven't had that I really want in my collection yet. I have the 10-year rye. It's one of the few ryes I drink.
I was so close to getting that 20-year.
I wasn't close. I offered them $1,000, and they're like, because I texted you, I'm like, would you give $1,000 for a Michter 20-year? Like, hell yeah. And they're like, not even close. I'm like, all right.
That's like the MSRP.
Yeah, I know, but they won it at a charity auction.
They won it at an auction, and I was like, I'll buy it.
They
like
bought it. They got it on a $25 raffle ticket.
Oh wow!
They wanted what, like $7,000 or something?
Yeah, they wanted
$7,000. I was like,
Jesus.
get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, usually you see it on aftermarket for $10,000. So,
yeah, but I mean,
I saw the bottle,
and they didn't want it. So.
I should see if they still have it because I know he's
the love.
They're not whiskey guys. He's a big. He likes the hard to find beers. So, Gold Eagle Jake, I think we might be able to work out a deal. I'll reach back out.
There's not really such a thing as hard to find beer anymore.
That's true. That's fair.
Unless you're not on social media or just not going to the stores, checking it out.
Yeah. That's fair. It's gone. I offered them $1,000 for it. They could have turned $25 into $1,000 and they turned it down. So.
Sounds like a bad investment.
Yep.
On that part.
All right, so we're gonna leave that as behind 2XO and better than most distilleries as our top tier. Nashville Barrel Company is next. We've talked a lot about Nashville Barrel Company.
For me, I think they're pretty good. Probably above Circle City, maybe above Dark Arts, only because of I don't know.
Think of
Right-
those
right-
empanadas. Think of those empanadas.
No, I'm not going to put them above Beautiful and the Damned.
All right.
But for the price point with Dark Arts, I think this is the only reason why they're ahead of Dark Arts. I think Dark Arts whiskey is a little bit more unique, but and the brand is also, but for the price point. Nashville Barrel is one that consistently puts out good stuff. We don't get a ton of it up here, but we do have a 10-year Beam barrel pick from them that is the Booker's mash bill, and their 7 and 8 year rye and bourbon blends that we do get on the shelf are also consistently very good. I think they kind of came out of the gate very hot, and they might have tapered off a little bit now that there's a lot more NDPs out there. But I'd probably have them somewhere in this range between where they're at now and to the high end of balanced as everything it should be.
This is kind of funny that it's grouped with Dark Arts and Circle City because of all the things we've talked about. This is probably the three that I've had the least of. So I'm gonna I agree. It's good.
You're gonna leave it there?
I have no means to move it anywhere else. I've never had Circle City. I think we have too many and pretty good already, but that's all right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I would bump them below Dark Arts just because I think they're a little too pricey for just being,
and I'm fine with that.
Straight bourbon and stuff.
I agree.
But it is pretty solid. Now, the Lake County pick that you were talking about is awesome. Is that gone? Or do you still have some?
Almost. There's probably 30 bottles left.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was a really, really good bottle.
All right. We are down to our final 5. Coming in next, we have Nulu. I will say I have never been overly impressed with Nulu. I thought there was a lot of hype around it that there shouldn't have been as much hype as there was. I never was overly impressed with it. God, do I like it more than Angel's Envy, though? This is a tough spot for me. I don't know if I like it. I like it more than Angel's Envy, so I'm going to go leave it on the shelf, but just above Angel's Envy. That's my personal opinion on Nulu.
That's exactly where I would put it.
Yeah.
Their whiskey's good. It's overpriced. They also kind of came into the market right when NDPs were getting popular and wax on the bottles was super cool. So they, I think, came out the gate swinging, and they probably bought way too many barrels when barrels were expensive. So their prices haven't really come down. They're not really doing a ton to make themselves stand out. I'm leaving it right where it is there.
I think their biggest blunder was that they just started finishing everything, and they were not good finishes. Particularly, I think their Amberana finish just might have killed them because it was so heavy.
They were very
People
heavy.
Hated it
on the finishes.
All right. Next, Old Louisville. Who wants to fire off with Old Louisville?
You can go ahead. You haven't gone first in a while.
I just went first.
Go
Did
first
you?
again.
Oh,
I just went with Nulu. Yes.
I'll go first for old Louisville. I would put them at the very tippy top and better than most distilleries.
Whoa.
Literally every bottle I've had from them has been like absolutely phenomenal.
So a rocket ship to the top.
And their price point's like pretty solid and reasonable.
Jake,
I would
counterpoint.
I would also say they're better than most distilleries. I'm stumped on where against these three they would fall. I mean, I think for me personally, I might go Michter's Old Louisville 2XO or Michter's 2XO Old Louisville. I think these are kind of interchangeable a little bit. But yeah, Old Louisville, everything they've put out has been very good. I think their price point is fair. We had a mean on the podcast a couple months ago, maybe 5 6 months ago. That was a super fun episode. Definitely give that a listen. He's very patient. He doesn't like to release anything too young. His Kentucky barrels that we have in the store right now, those are 8 years old, and he bought them when they were 6 months old. So he's been aging them and sitting on them. And his whole thing is when it's ready, it's ready. I'm not gonna rush anything just to get product out there. He just came out with a toasted rye, which batch one sold out super quick, and I've been begging him for probably close to a year now for batch two to come out. And he's just like, it's just not ready. It's not ready. Like batch one was ready, I think, in 12 months, and batch two took 18 months. So he's very patient. He cares about every drop of liquid that goes into his bottles. And I think it shows.
Agreed. I haven't been as excited about any brand since Heaven Hill.
Ooh,
I really, really
That's
like
saying
everything
something.
that I've tried from them. As Dan shakes his head.
I agree. You know what? Fuck it. He was on our podcast. Top tier. A tier. Top tier. You know what? Dixon? No. Anyone from Michter's? No. Anyone from Barrel? No. Fuck it. Top tier. I'll go there. To number one. Penelope. Big name. So much so that MGP bought them back. We've discussed that a million times over on this podcast. I do not like Penelope that much. I've tried. I've not liked the majority of it. Like, I remember when they first came out with Architect and they tried to sell me a good old boy Sam's tasting way back in the day. Never been a really big fan of Penelope, on personal opinion. I'm going to be wrong on this. I'm going to say it's just above Nulu on Leave It on the Shelf. That's where I'm putting it.
You are going to be wrong on this.
I figured, but that's all right. I'm just a dick, man. I can't be right on everything.
I think if you asked me this question a year ago, I would agree. I would leave it on the shelf or at the low end of balance as everything should be. I think they've like mastered marketing without doing like wax and cool stickers. I think their bottles look really, really nice and they stand out. And like the Havana and the Rio, like they just gave people what they wanted and made the bottles look really, really pretty.
So they're pandering.
I mean, they've done good with what they've had to work with. They've done very good with what they've had to work with. And since MGP bought them, I think their quality has gone way up. Obviously, their age statement has gone way up. They're starting to do some better and cooler things. And because of that, I am going to put them probably at the low to mid tier of pretty good. They're coming out with I'd probably put them above Nashville Barrel. They're coming out with 10-year barrel strength single barrels at the $80-$90 high end $100 price range. I think they're priced right. I heard they're taking a little price decrease, but we haven't seen that yet. And that is expected because MGP owns them and has a ton of whiskey. So for me, that's where Penelope belongs, right there.
So I'm in the same boat as Dan, and I'm quite tainted from their pre-MGP acquisition days. I think, like, I feel like it's almost cheating to now consider them an NDP, because they're really just a
Because they have the
MGP
keys to
brand.
MGP.
Yeah.
Well, and we kind of discussed this a little bit in the beginning, like, them, Michter's, like they could arguably not be NDPs, same with Angels MB. But we decided to kind of focus on just brands that were built off of NDP and still technically registered as an NDP, just for clarification purposes.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know.
Jake, I remember way back in the day, like in our early days, when me and Roberto both couldn't be on the podcast, and you and Jenna did like a Penelope Chicago summer or whatever.
It was a Chicago toasted, and honestly, that was like maybe the worst whiskey I've ever had in my life.
I want to play that episode back because I guarantee you called it good.
No, I did not.
Okay,
I said I
all
did
right.
not like it at
All
all.
right. Okay.
Yeah. Jenna liked it. I did not.
That makes sense.
And like, yeah, I don't know. Just like a lot of their SKUs, like normal SKUs, I just don't like that much. Their cast strength is all right, and that's about it. Where'd you have them, Dan? Leave it on the shelf.
I put them above Nulu.
That's about where I'd put them too. So I think, where do we average out?
Probably right at the end of balance as everything should be.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, that's where it is, but watch, we're going to get some hate for that.
I'm used to hate, man.
The
I don't
people
give a
love
shit.
Penelope.
I know, but like,
They
I
shouldn't.
don't
It's okay.
Again.
I'll admit I haven't had Penelope in 3 years, maybe.
I had the Rio.
Yeah, see, again,
And
I'm not a fan
but,
of
like,
Rio.
I mean, it's a bunch of finished stuff. Like, same with Havana. Like, it's a bunch of finishes. Like,
it's
it
the
should be
bottle,
good.
it's the colors, it's the name, it's the bottle. I mean, people freaked out over Rio, and I'm just like, buy any Amberana finish and add a drop of honey to it, and you got yourself a Rio.
Yeah.
But I will say, I do think if you haven't tasted Penelope since their core releases 2 or 3 years ago, it's worth diving back in when you see some of their higher age stated stuff.
The
Have you
biggest
had any
nod
of
I'll
their,
give
like,
them.
what do they call it? Like the Founders Reserve or whatever, like, things?
I've had a few different things. A few of those, like 10-year single barrels, Founders Reserve, some of their Project X bottles. But we are going to be doing some, I think, very good, interesting Penelope picks this year. We're going to do a Penelope 10-year barrel pick, which should retail right around the $90 price point. And then we're also going to be doing a couple different Project X picks, which is like their experimental finishing. And those should retail around like the $80 price range.
Now it makes sense why you wanted them that high. Now I understand.
I mean, I'm just in it.
Makes sense now.
I'm in it.
No, totally understand.
bit
You don't
more.
need to justify yourself. You've obviously already sold out for this episode, so
I haven't even tasted the samples yet, so who knows if we're going to do them. But going off of the recent things I've tried from them, I've got some good hope for these samples.
Okay, Jake, we got you. Okay, too bad it's at the end of balance as everything should be. I know the boner you have for the next one, so I'm not going to say too much. I will let Gold Eagle Jake take over for rare character. I'm just going to throw it at the top because I know what's coming. So go ahead, Jake. Tell us about the next 7 rare character barrel picks we're going to have at Gold Eagle.
We have none on the way at the moment. We're going to be doing another one in February. All right. When you look at NDPs, I don't think it gets much better than this. You know where I was going with this. You already put it there. They've got the beautiful label with the design your own sticker thing. They've got the beautiful wax and the color combinations, and I have never tried a rare character bottle that I didn't love. I think their price point is good. It's not great, but again, every single bottle I've tried from them has been really, really good. There's not a single one that I thought was a miss.
I agree. It's good. Jake, your thoughts?
People aren't gonna like this.
Or you're going to be a dick?
I'm not like a huge fan of rare character. Sorry, Jake, but the the picks that you had this year were like good, but they didn't like really blow me away. I think rare characters in a little bit of an overhyped kind of state.
It's definitely overhyped. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah, I would bump them below Mictors.
Ooh. Let's just call it right in the middle then. There's 4, so it's hard to get a middle.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll go through the rankings at the end if you care not watch on YouTube, which is totally fine. Last one used to be the big hard name to find. Smoke Wagon.
Crickets.
Yeah,
Kind of been their sales lately then too, right? But I thought Smoke Wagon was good. I thought it was like really way overhyped for what it was. Like the fact that you couldn't find their unfiltered uncut on the shelves, I thought was dumb. I think it's a good solid whiskey, but I think it's a good solid whiskey at best. God, I want to say leave it on the shelf, but I like it more than Penelope. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna leave it on the shelf right ahead of Nulu.
I agree. I think it got way too overhyped.
But it's from Vegas. Everything good comes from Vegas.
It stays in Vegas for what, like 2 weeks before it gets bottled and then distributed. I don't know. I'd for sure like it better than Penelope. So yeah, I'd put it between Penelope and Magnus in balanced.
All right, so currently it's trending right here. Right now it's in balance as everything should be, but at the very tail end of balance as everything should be.
I think the biggest knock I have against Smoke Wagon is the
but it's got two 6-shooters on the front, Jake. You're a big gun guy.
But
pew pew.
I can't remember which rye it is. It's either the malted rye or the bottled and bond rye was like the worst rye I've ever had in my life.
I thought you loved the malted rye.
Then it's the bottled.
Or did you
and bond.
hate it?
No, I can't remember which one was which. I think I liked the malted rye. I think the bottled and bond was the one that sucked.
You would think with as many ryes as you would like, the ones that you don't like would stand out better.
Well, because the bottles look exactly the same.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was the bottled and bond. But yeah, that like kind of pissed me off because I don't know how you can. I mean, it's 95.5 MGP rye, and it was just so bad. Yeah, that's my biggest complaint against them, and that like people acted like it was way better than it ever really was.
Well, I do think I do think this is where I would put it right now, but I do think some of the earlier batches were much better. And he did kind of come into the market like earlier than a lot of these brands
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we've been
he was
talking
more on the
about.
cutting edge before a lot of
And
the big brands got big.
he, like, as soon as MGP became popular, like, I remember people walking through the aisles, and if it was distilled in Indiana, they didn't want it. And then all of a sudden, a flip switched, and people looked for distilled in Indiana, and then Smoke Wagon came out, and it's this gorgeous looking bottle, and he's got cash strength MGP blends that nobody can get their hands on at the moment. So at that point in time, it would have definitely been like ahead of Old Louisville on this list. But I think now with all these other brands that are out there, I would put them right where they are. And also, it's worth mentioning that he does have a $30 bourbon that is 90 proof, non age stated, but like a 4 to 5 year blend. And he does have a barrel strength young bourbon that he calls Desert Colt. That's like a 39.99 barrel strength MGP bourbon. So I think his prices are fair. I think on the uncut unfiltered, I would like to see the age statement get a little bit higher for what he's charging and what he probably has access to now.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing going for them is the price point because they are all pretty accessible.
I don't know. I think that $40 bottle is going to get lost in the shuffle.
But like
I think some people have kind of not turned against it, but just don't care.
yeah, they don't really, but you know, it's a good alternative to like Buffalo Trace when we don't have Buffalo Trace for that $30 bottle that's
okay.
90
I mean,
proof.
it's a good value. But I mean, Dan, I totally understand your point. Like, yeah, there's like a shitload of things at $40 that are.
And there's shitloads of things that are under $40, like one we didn't talk about, Smooth Ambler, which I'm having a barrel pick tonight.
Why are you like rubbing it on your face?
I've had a few, and it's 120 proof. So, all right. Recap of the episode. Our top tier, better than most distilleries for our NDPs. I think we're probably all pretty good on this. Old Louisville, we say, is the best of the NDPs that we talked about today, followed closely by a rare character, 2XO, and the Michter's brand. In the second tier, in our pretty good tier, we have Barrel Craft Spirits leading the way, followed by Found North, Beautiful and the Damned, Dark Arts, Nashville Barrel, and then Circle City Whiskey Company that paid Jake and the rest of us, so that's why it's at the very end of that tier. They could have paid themselves up higher, but they didn't. Pay to play, guys. Know the game. Balanced as everything should be. Calumet Farms, Joseph Magnus, Penelope, and then Smoke Wagon. Stuff to leave on the shelf would be Nulu and Angel's Envy. And finally, our dog shit tier, the one and only Blue Run. Unless you're making candles out of bottles, then maybe leave it on the shelf.
Yeah. They got a nice heavy bottom.
They do. It looks really cool when a candle's above that. You get a really nice reflection down at the bottom of that. So, a lot of good NDPs out there, I guess, is the biggest thing. Is if you're looking at this, the bell curve is skewed more towards the top than to the middle. Lots of good things to choose from. If you are one of the bourbon purists where I only drink it if it comes from Kentucky, you're missing out on some really good whiskey. Don't do that.
Yep.
I think of all the things we talked about, except for one, can be found at our favorite liquor store. Jake, where can they buy a lot of these bottles at?
You can come visit us in Libertyville at Gold Eagle Wine and Spirits. Follow us on Instagram at Gold Eagle Wine, Facebook at Gold Eagle Spirits. Go to goldeaglewine.com. See our whole inventory and shop online. Shipping available to 40 states. Thank you, Dan, for the plug.
And Jake, we've talked about some of the previous episodes with Old Louisville, Beautiful and the Damned. Where can people go listen to older episodes or wait for our new episodes to come out?
Yes, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Google, or pretty much any other podcast platform. You can watch us on Spotify and YouTube. YouTube views have been rocketing lately, at least compared to the older videos. So keep that up.
Thank
Lots
you
of
for
good
that.
comments on YouTube too. So keep those coming. Let us know what you think about our tier list. Are there any like obvious NDPs that we left off? Maybe. Let us know.
There's
If you
definitely
don't
a
like our
ton.
opinions, let us know too. We love when people don't like.
Yeah,
our
let us
opinions.
know what
there's
you would
like
tier.
a million NDPs. So
Yeah, for
we
clarification,
for sure
it
left
was-
some off, but
We left. It was hard to narrow down a list. This would be a 5-hour long episode, probably 10 hours if we included every NDP. So we kind of had to pick and choose a little bit.
and me and Dan haven't had every single NDP out there, so
Sucks not owning a liquor store where people just give you booze for free all the time. Hard life. Thanks, Jake. Thanks for suffering for us. We appreciate your suffering.
Someone's got to do it.
All right, boys. See you next week. Cheers.
cheers.
Cheers.